Hey everyone, it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here, and today we're going to be talking about these molecules and the animal cell.
While we're answering some questions that we get a lot, I thought we'd answer one question I get a ton, which is about our homeschooling.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of questions about how we use media in our homeschooling.
For example, Hank Green.
Right. Anyone who knows us knows how much we love Hank Green and Brain Scoop and Crash Course and Veritasium and Smarter Every Day and Minute Physics. Lots of stuff. We watch a lot of YouTube videos specifically. By heart. Yeah. So, and people ask a lot about how we use that kind of stuff in our homeschooling. We talk a lot about media in homeschooling. And so that's kind of what people latch on to is our use of media, because obviously Presley's vlog, and we talk a lot about the videos that we watch and things. And so people sort of make this assumption that that's all we do. And so I try and be as clear as I can that the videos are a starting point for homeschooling. They're really a launching point, and we can learn the concepts, and the people who are speaking in these videos, we gravitate towards people that are very passionate about what they're trying to teach you and pretty funny. Like Hank Green is really funny and he's really passionate, and all the Brain Scoop stuff that's like that, yeah. And so we gravitate towards those, but we use them as a launching point, right? And so I just wanted to show, like, we've been going back through the Crash Course Biology recently. We watched it all the way through and just watched it, like talked about it a little bit, but didn't really dive in too deep. And every day or so we would watch a video, and they just kind of build on each other, and so you can retain what you can retain. And then once we finish that, and we've also watched most of chemistry and a lot of the other ones, but what ecology, I guess we watched all the way through. But then we go back and watch it again, and with a focus on really diving into it and understanding it. So we've watched the first 3 or 4 videos of biology now.
We watched the first 4.
We'll watch them several times, though. We sort of watch them over and over again. We pause, we stop, we talk about these things. And so since he starts with a little bit of chemistry, which I think is great, we're doing molecules and atoms and understanding valence shells and things like that. And then he starts talking about the animal cell is one of the other videos that we're watching a lot right now. And so we bought this little organic molecule kit off of Amazon. It's about $20.
And it's fabulous.
And it's really great. You can build all of these molecules. We're actually probably going to go ahead and buy another one, just so we have more carbon atoms and more of the atoms that we use a lot. But it's a great little kit for about $20. And then we bought this model of an animal cell, again, for about $20 off of Amazon.
And it's fabulous too.
I'll put links in the description. And we'll just show you a little bit of some of the stuff that we do while we're digging through this, right?
So,
you want to show some of the stuff you built?
So, me and my dad, I made these. Because my dad, I was working on my... So this is a BHT molecule, which is bad for me.
Yeah, so if you watched the video yesterday, we were talking about Presley's diet and how we avoid BHT specifically. And so now that we've watched these videos and we have this kit together, we can break this out and build a BHT molecule so Presley can have a better understanding.
It doesn't look that bad.
Right.
You know? It's just carbon, hydrogen, and 1 oxygen.
Yeah. So we've built a ton of these in the past few days. What have you noticed about the things that we've built, these organic molecules that we built?
Have lots of carbons, lots of hydrogens, and a few oxygens. All of them.
Yeah.
Even this one.
What else did you build? What's that?
This is a carboxyl group. It's a carbon double bonded to 1 oxygen, and a carbon bonded to an oxygen that's bonded to a hydrogen. Pretty simple. It looks a ton more simple than this, but it can still be explained easily.
So the carboxyl group was one that we started working on because of the Hank Green biology videos. Because the carboxyl groups, what do they hook onto the end of?
Amino acids, fatty acids, and lots of things.
Yeah, so we'll cut in here in a minute, and we'll tear these apart because we're kind of out of carbons, but we'll build a fatty acid and an amino acid to kind of show how we put those together and what we've learned from the Hank Green videos, right? And let's just real quick to show some of the chemistry stuff that we've been doing. Why are there 2 ports on that oxygen atom?
Why are there 2 ports on this oxygen atom? Because oxygen's atomic number is 8, and 2 of its electrons go in the first shell. And then the next has 8 The next shell wants 8.
Why does it want 8? What's the rule?
Octet rule.
The octet rule,
It
right.
wants to have 8 on its valence shell. So in its valence shell, 6 are left, and there's 2
So
left
2
to
go
make
in
8.
2 go in the first shell.
And then 6 on the next. And it needs 2 to make a full shell.
Right. So it wants 2
An
more.
octet.
And that describes 2 different ways that it can be happy and full. What are those 2 different ways?
Well, it can be bonded to a carbon and a hydrogen, or it could just be bonded normally to 2 things. Or it could be double bonded to 1 thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So,
Now
right?
let's dig into the animal cell.
So yeah, we're going to talk about the cell a little bit. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the animal cell. So same thing, the animal cell was one of the big things in Crash Course Biology, one of the early sets.
In Eukaryopolis, the city of animal cells, of course, biology number 4.
Right. And what is a eukaryote or eukaryotic cell?
A cell that has a nucleus covered in this membrane thing.
Yeah, a true nucleus.
Yeah, a true.
Right.
No,
true,
it's not called a
true kernel.
True kernel. Whenever you say kernel, it makes me think of popcorn. I really want some popcorn.
I always think of Colonel Sanders for some reason, which is KFC, like German movie. Yeah. So I bought this. Again, this is just a little aid for us to, and it's pretty cool because all these things kind of pop out. What are these? You remember what these are called?
These, oh god, these names are hard. But they make the steel girder things.
They make the little girders, right? They're centrosomes. Right?
Centrosomes.
They make those little things. And oops, what's this little guy right here that's kind of split in half?
This little guy that's been
The football-shaped guy?
peanuts.
Yeah, the peanuts.
They're mitochondria.
Mitochondria. What do?
They are the power plants of the cell.
And
They make power plants,
Do
and
you
they
remember what they make?
break down food into ATP.
ATP.
The currency of the
Nice.
city.
That's exactly right. And what's the coolest thing that we learned about mitochondria while we were doing the videos?
So, I'm going to tell this story physically. So once upon a time, there was a cell that looked like this, but there was something missing in that cell. The mitochondria. Because mitochondria used to be their own thing, just working around, doing their own thing, until it got inside of a cell somehow. Probably because it was eating it. And then it realized, this is good at doing things. Let's keep it.
What's it good at doing?
It's good at turning food into ATP.
Right.
So it just stuck it in and kept it. Stayed.
And they still kind of do their own thing now, right?
Yep, they even get to hold some of the DNA.
They do.
But they go to the Golgi apparatus, and the Golgi apparatus pinches off the protein chains into a vesicle.
Vesicle.
A vesicle is like the vesicle of the cell world. So the vesicle can get in and out of the cell wall safely and into the nuclei.
Well, what does it do with the cell wall? You remember?
What does it do with the cell wall?
Yeah, when it hits the cell wall.
It turns into the cell wall.
Yeah, it kind of merges in and opens up. Right?
But if you want to get into the nuclei with a vesicle, you have to have this key thingy. And if it does not have the key thingy, the wall will reject it. But if it does have the key thingy, then it can go into the nucleus and do whatever it pleases.
Yeah, that's right. What's the difference between the big difference between this and a plant cell?
Animal cells have squishy walls. Our walls aren't squishy. Have squishy walls. Well, plant cells have hard walls.
Yeah.
That's why plants cannot dance.
This is why plants can't dance. So we also we like this series a lot. It's the manga guide to
something.
Right. This is Manga Guide to Molecular Biology that talks a lot about protein synthesis and DNA and cell replication and like a lot of the things that go along with the Crash Course Biology that we've been talking about.
So it goes along perfectly. Okay, so this is a fatty acid. It is saturated because all of these are connected to at least 2 hydrogens.
And what kind of links are between the carbons?
They have single bonds. And then over here we have our carboxyl group, which makes it final.
What would make it an unsaturated fatty acid?
If one of these, some of them lost 2 of these and got a double bond.
So let's make one real quick.
Yeah.
So if you make a double bond between these carbons, or one pair of carbons.
Yeah, it's a pair of carbons. It doesn't have to be that specific one.
Then you end up with an unsaturated fat. Because you've got a double bond on the carbons, and these 2 carbons only have 1 hydrogen and not 2.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's an unsaturated fat.
Unsaturated fat.
This is an amino group, which consists of a nitrogen connected to 2 hydrogens, connected to a carbon, connected to another hydrogen. And it is connected to A carboxyl group, which we have one of them right here.
Another use of the carboxyl group.
Another use of
What's this
carboxyl
pink thing right here?
This is the R group, and depending on what it is, it changes what the amino acid is. This thing is, without the R group, is common in all amino acids, but the R group always changes if it's a different kind of amino acid.
How many different amino acids are there?
There are 20.
20. And how many of them can we not build ourselves?
9. We need to get those for food.
That's right. Perfect. Okay, so that's a pretty good encapsulation of how we use some of the manipulatives. We use the videos. We use a lot of conversations. We use a little bit of everything. The cell model. And so the videos are, like I said, they're just a launch. I mean, they're a fantastic launching point. But they're just a launching point for other things that we do as part of our homeschool curriculum and the way that we study. And using all of these things and tying it all together and getting your hands on things, obviously it really seems to sink in pretty well. You're learning this stuff pretty good, huh? Yeah, cool. Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Not really.
Okay.
So, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.